Das war's.
Ahoy, crypto pirates! Welcome to your Discord Syndicates FN Hangout. I am your cosplay Hexican pirate Captain RG3 here for you once again, like always, without charge. Without charge. It doesn't cost anything to be here. I'm not getting rich off of you guys. Not dumping on your heads. You're not my exit liquidity. My YouTube channel is not my exit liquidity. And I am who I am, and your approval is unnecessary. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. A handful of you that are, and that's all that matters. As long as there's a handful here, I will be here. Well, actually, we've done it with just two. We had more people on stream when we first started than we had in the audience. That's how it started. So appreciate you all for being here and spending your Friday evening with me. This is your show, by the way. If you don't know, this is a place for you to come and join us and have a discussion, whatever you want. We're going to have discourse. It's gotten heated every now and then, every once in a while, but I calm it down. We've had stupid stuff come in here. We've talked about stupid things, but we've also had some really, really good stuff come through here. So say hi to the chat room first. Alan, welcome and thanks for being here, bud. You were first. The double shark. Ooh, I think he is. Like, do you guys look at your wallets that way? You have like squid wallets and shell wallets and dolphin wallets and shark wallets and whale wallets. That's cool if you got those kind of wallets. Let's see. Dorsey. Ahoy, Dorsey. Glad to have you with us. You've been on really good behavior. I don't think that you've been timed out for a while. I'm getting a little concerned. I'm a little concerned, Dorsey. You know, a little concerned. Drix, what's up, bro? Drix, our resident photographer out there at all the events, hooking us up, hanging out. Also a homeboy. Hexander, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Glad you're out of the path of those fires, Captain. Yeah, so the fires, because I'm east of LA, the winds are Santa Ana winds. They're blowing from east to west, offshore winds, and those things blow that way. But man, what devastation. I think it was like 1.5 billion or something like that, or maybe even more than that, that was destroyed. The most expensive fire ever. It just burnt down very wealthy homes. And I have family up there and they've all done well. But thanks for talking about it. And yeah, you know, these fires are horrendous, and things have changed with we're getting drier and drier climate here in California. So when it used to rain, we used to get lots of rain every season. Now we'll get a bunch of rain and we won't get any rain. And then, you know, the reservoirs are filled and then they'll empty. And, you know, it's just times have changed since back in the 70s when I was a kid. We don't have the acid rain anymore. We used to have this acid rain and this smog. Our smog conditions were horrible. When I was a kid, we used to have smog alerts. And they would literally call a smog alert and make us all stop playing and go indoors and all that kind of shit. It was weird, man. We had some really messed up air quality out here for a long time. And then it all changed. And now we pay super expensive amounts for gas. And I'm sure that most of that is a grift. They have cleaned the air up pretty decent, but most of that's a grift. The oil companies, you know them, they're always trying to make a buck. They want to make money off folks. But anyway, yes, I am out of the path of the fires. The last ones that came through were right behind my house. That was scary. I see all the conspiracy shit going on the internet with, oh, how come these houses are destroyed and these green plants are still here? Well, dummy, let me explain something to you about a little bit about science. I know that we are not a science-based world anymore, that we don't like science anymore. We like beliefs and, things that we can just throw out there like titanium moons and flat earths. But anyway, the reason that happens is when the winds blow like that, embers fly around. There's embers that fly around. A lot of times what they do is they seek, they get drawn, and they draw into these homes through the eaves, and the eaves have these ventilation ducts in them. And when those sparks and that heat and everything gets sucked into these, the air ducts in your home, the easiest place to start a fire is the top of your home. Air ventilation in there, sucking in heat and all that dry wood that's up there on the roof. Boom, lights on fire, lights up the whole house, burns it straight down to the ground. The things that do survive are green vegetation, because embers that fly into green vegetation usually don't catch fire. So put away all of your fucking tin hats, and that's how come you see houses burned down in the middle of green foliage. Anyway, just thought I'd give you all a little fire history lesson, or science lesson. Anyway, but I am out of the path, and thanks for thinking of us. Georgie said those were cringy as fuck days. Georgie has turned a new leaf. Oh, boomer. Gosh, he did it just for old time's sake. He did it for old time's sake. Thought he was turning over a new leaf and going to be like a super supporter. Anyway, let's see. Hex says talking about your staker class will lead to a wrench attack. Mum's the word. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you don't want to do that, but yeah, I get it. It used to be like a badge of honor. People were out there doing that stuff, talking about their staker class. Even in the movie, we had people showing their staker wallets. I think I even did too. I exposed a little bit of it, just a stake or two, just to kind of show where we were at that time. We're no longer there. Oof. That's why you got to realize that crypto changes like that. Switches 180 on a dime, guys, on a dime. Have yourself ready. Be prepared. Don't quit your day job until you are secure. And I would call secure for like a family man, somebody, like 12, 13 million. You're single, you're young. I'd say probably 4 or 5 million you can get away with, something like that. That's just what I'm thinking. Somewhere around there would make you like, okay, I can walk. I'm worth 13 million in a bear market, or I'm worth 5 million in a bear market. I'm good enough to go out there and live off crypto. That's what I would kind of like gauge that. But yeah, let's keep all that. What's up with Pulse Whispers? I don't know. Don't even know what that is. Is it Charles H? Charles Hoskinson? I saw some of the stuff that he was, they were posting some stuff by him. Charles is, I like him because he's real. He speaks well. He's intelligent enough-ish. Is he a good representation of crypto? He even says he's not himself. But I hear he's getting tagged to still do something. So I don't know. It's nice to know that he does know who we are, at least, right? He does know who we are. But anyway, we'll see how this all plays out. I'm watching the political crypto space very closely. But I don't want to say anything bad about Charles. I think Charles is a decent representation of us. A little old looking for 37. Fuck, I think I look younger than Charles when it comes down to it. Like, He's like, I got him by like 20 years. And he looks like he's got me by 10 years. But anyway, glad you're safe from the fire. Thanks, Wallace, and welcome. Mr. Jockey. Yo. T-shares or LPs? Oh, T-shares. Are you kidding me? So let's look at the order of risk reward, right? So in my book, the safest crypto, period, bar none, end of story, is Hex. Why? It's because of how Hex is built, how it operates, how it functions. Now, price action be damned, because when things like Dick with Butt can run and Dogecoin can run, I'm not going to say that the price charts have anything to do with the technology or the viability of the product. That's just stupid crypto bros. We have some dumb motherfuckers in this space. I am sorry, but we got some dumb motherfuckers. Chase after anything, listen and do anything anyone says. Gosh, it's a shit show. They've created a shit show here, and it's been our biggest problem all along. Hold on, guys. I gotta turn on this fan real quick. It's a little warm in here. All lighting and stuff. So where was I? Doggone it. Yes, Hex. Hex is the GOAT. Hex is the safest play. Let's talk about the list of passive income in crypto, and the safest way to do that. So this, in my opinion, grabbing onto some Hex and staking it from 15 years back is your safest play in crypto, in my opinion. That's what I think generating the best yield and the safest yield is through Hex. Now, there are extenuating circumstances that can hurt that. One being the stupid idiots in crypto that screw up price action. And two, regulatory, governments and the FUD. And we're experiencing that. We've experienced that from the beginning. So for us to go to 10,000x and then drop 90%, blah, 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 still shows that what Richard built is resilient. What Richard built was good. What Richard built was just. Now, that doesn't mean that it can't be stopped. And everybody here thinks that their little crypto thing can't be stopped. I want to educate all of you about something. Your crypto thing can be stopped. Guarantee you. Now, you might be able to run around the world somewhere and find a place that treats your crypto and your money better. But how long is that going to last? How long until that place stops allowing you to use crypto? They can pressure it. It's not that hard to pressure crypto. There's not that many people in it, and there's not anybody important in it. Nobody. All of these so-called gurus and important people in crypto don't mean shit to the world. They really don't. They're nobodies. And for damn sure, we're nobody. And at least I know it. I know I'm not nothing special. I know that this space can go away in a blink of an eye. I'm hedged. I'm waiting. I'm making sure it ain't going to happen to me. But let me just read something. I just went over this just a second ago. This is a news article. Bitcoin investor ordered to hand over crypto keys in landmark tax case. Landmark tax case. Now, this isn't some obscure, maybe liberal California court that did this to this guy, or some New York City court that did this to this guy. No. The judge ordered Mr. Frank Algren III and associates to hand over all of his keys, all of his crypto, all of his Bitcoin. He was to surrender his crypto and private keys after he was being sentenced in December for 2 years in prison for tax fraud. And that was for 3.7 million in Bitcoin. Between 17 and 19, he owes the U.S. government 1.1 million in restitution. And that was in the lovely state, the liberal bastion of Texas. Texas, guys. Took his Bitcoin. They took her Bitcoin. Took it from him. Court ordered. Tax evasion. Tax fraud. Guys, for those of you fucking around with the taxes, playing your whatever that game is with that revocation of election and all that bullshit, buyer beware. Buyer beware. I'm just telling you, they're doing it. Landfill thing. Guy went to court. Hey, I got $750 million in Bitcoin sitting in that landfill. I want to get my computer out of there. You know what the judge said? Nope. Fuck you, crypto boy. You don't get to go in there and do shit. Don't care what you got in there. You can't do it. Shut him down. Look what they've been doing to us. They've been fudding us and eating us since we started. Since Richard launched day one. They've been after us and on our asses. So don't think too highly of this thing because it can go away. Now, if it didn't go away, how would I rank my best investments in crypto? Well, first of all, the fact that I got into Hex when Richard said he was going to do what he did, and I believed him, and that was first my best option was listening to Richard Hart, because luckily I wasn't the guy who got to see him in twerk mode. I got to see him with the top hat, trying to help people, trying to tell people to stop gambling, stop trading, stop drinking, eat better. Even though he wasn't doing it himself, he was talking about it, and he would say he's not doing it himself. I really liked what his message and how he was presenting himself was truthful. And yes, I know what's good. I know it's bad. And sometimes I do what's bad for myself, but I care about all of you and I want to make something important and whatnot. And I wanted to be part of that. So anyway, Hex was the best thing I had gotten myself into. Then I realized what staking was. I didn't get it completely at first. Didn't get T-shares. Man, it took us weeks until Dev Kyle, the guy who invented the T-shares, sat me down and really explained them to me and showed me how they work. And I was like, boom, light bulb, brilliant. These things are the most important thing in Hex. And we started talking about them. We started, when I looked at it as a CD, I went in and researched CDs and saw what people were doing with income ladder, CD ladders. And I started creating ladders and talking about creating ladders. And everybody's been doing really well with that, because when you look at stakes that are coming to fruition today that were staked, almost 5 years ago, those things are at 200, 215% APY. 215% APY. Well, RG, that's not possible. Max APY has been like 38%. True. But those people who got in early got big payday bonuses. So that counts as part of your yield. People that got in early, staked early. We've had stakes out there for a very long time. And we've had stakes out there during a very volatile time in Hex where people were emergency unstaking. People's wallets were getting hacked and being emergency unstaked. And because of that, because we are part of the system, and that's the problem with crypto, not your keys, not your coins. And on the other side, not your keys, not your coins, the good and the bad of it. So people lost their money. But the good of it was that those of us who were staked received the benefit of all those emergency unstake penalties. And that went into all of our wallets, not into Richard's wallets, not into some foundation's wallet, nothing. Now, the OA has received its fair share of all that, but the OA is there as a feature, not a what is a function, not a feature. Feature, not a function. Feature, not a. Anyway, I'm missing the point or missing the words, but you know what I'm saying. It's not a bug; it's a feature. There you go. So anyway, staking is the most lucrative, safe way to make passive income in crypto, in my opinion. As far as crypto is concerned, not dollars, because the dollar price is all up to the plebs, man. It's up to the plebs and what they want to do and how they perceive value and what they sell and buy and dump. That's a problem with it, is that you've got those type of people in there. Now, what's next after that? In my opinion, validating. Validating is the next safe bet. If you aren't validating or don't understand what validating is, you should. When I got into crypto and read the white paper, Satoshi's white paper about Bitcoin, my mind immediately after 2 days, 48 hours of just complete brainstorming on it and trying to figure it out, I wanted to be a miner. I thought that's the way to go. That being part of the system, because it was twofold. It was like that was going to be lucrative, and it was also going to allow me to be part of the system. So I wanted to mine. On the other hand here, validating, which is what a proof of stake model, which is PulseChain, provides as far as its consensus mechanism, doesn't need mining, doesn't need all that extra power, doesn't need mining pools, can't be 51% attacked, and all these things that are risks because of mining don't exist over here on proof of stake network. Now, of course, that's all being suppressed because the Bitcoiners and now BlackRock and Michael Saylor's crew, they definitely don't want people to understand that. But mining was the way to be part of the system. So on top of it being lucrative, you get to participate even more than just in staking and being part of it. So I wanted to validate. I knew that that was going to be a place for me to put that pulse that was generously given to me after I asked for nothing in return. I sacrificed my crypto for freedom of speech, freedom of movement, and to be part of what Richard was trying to say, what he was trying to put out in the world. I wanted to sacrifice to be part of the system. And when I got Pulse for that, which I wasn't expecting, but it did come to me, as Richard Hart said, it might. Don't expect anything, but it might. I said, well, I'm going to take this stuff and I'm going to put it to use. I'm going to put it in validators and be part of the system and continue to grow them and just let my Pulse continue to create more validators, be part of the system, and help to free the world of centralization by decentralizing a network more and more and more. So validating, in my opinion, is the number 2 way, safest way to generate yield. Then after that, is just straight holding. Just straight holding the crypto and dollar costing in and dollar costing out during these 4-year cycles. It appears that we're going into another one and nothing has changed. Little caveat here and there, a little nuance here and there, different FUD, different news cycles, different little bits of different shit. But for the most part, it's the same stuff. Nothing new under the sun, right, guys? Nothing new under the sun. We're doing the same thing over and over and over again. So holding has proven to be, over the long term, the best method of making money in crypto. Now, if you staked, you made a couple 100% on your stakes. But if you've held Bitcoin over the last 13 years, you've done extremely well. So holding long-term, dollar costing in, dollar costing out, watching the market, not making any crazy, stupid moves. I'm not talking about trading. I'm talking about as the thing starts to pump, as you see 100K Bitcoin going to 150, you're dollar costing yourself out of the market little bits as it's moving up, putting that off to the side and figuring out what you're going to do with it. Of course, you've got tax ramifications. So what do? Long-term capital gains are the only thing you're going to cash out. Anything short-term, you're going to stake and put it out long-term. Mitigate your issue, your tax issue, and do it the right way, and quit all this stupid bullshit that's going to get you put in jail and get your crypto confiscated. But I know some of you are just, you got your AR and you're going to say, fuck the government and it's not going to get me. They're not going to get me. Pry it from a cold dead hands. I can have my keys from a cold dead hand. Well, it looks like they're doing that to folks. So anyway, and then once you've done all of those things, then I think LP and trading are the next on the list of volatility, risk. And of course, that has to do with how much value you have to put into the system, how much you're willing to lose, what's your age and your time frame and your knowledge of the market. All that stuff has to do. There's a lot of things that go with LP providing and trading. And I wouldn't teach anybody how to do that stuff. I have liquidity provided. I just don't like managing it. It's a pain. Very lucrative though, very lucrative. But you got to be on top of it. Got to know what you're doing. And I'm not in the game to work my ass off in crypto to make sure that I'm generating yield properly. But anyway, that's my list of risk assessment in the passive ways of making more crypto in this ecosystem, in the Hex PulseChain ecosystem. All the rest of the stuff, everything else that's out there that's built on PulseChain is suspect. It's just being tried. It's just coming out. It's got liquidity issues, whether it's real liquidity issues or manufactured by somebody trying to rip everybody off. There's differences in all that. And I want everybody to understand that because, a lot of people are being accused of doing nefarious things when it really wasn't nefarious. It was just people that don't know what they're doing or getting scared or making knee-jerk reactions and moving liquidity too fast or doing something with the liquidity and screwing everybody out or everybody feeling like they got screwed out. Remember, those projects haven't gone away. They haven't scammed. They're just, the liquidity is just low until people start using them. Maybe the tech speaks for itself later on and liquidity grows and people see value in those things versus value in things like Doge, which we've seen Doge get value over and over and over and over again. So why would we not think that these technologies that are being built on PulseChain won't end up being worthwhile and valuable and valid one day? More than likely they will. But if you got in early or you got in and during that first pump, like Richard always said, when we got into Hex, don't buy day one. Stay away from that stuff. Let the volatility go away. Let the liquidity settle down. And then, you can invest or you can get in or you can, it's simple stuff. It's always been out there for us to understand and work on. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. And I hope some of you take heed. If not, dumbass old man, you know what you're talking about. RG3 and Funk Master Hex. And I don't mean Robert Griffin III. It's very close to who I am, but no, I am the third. That's what the 3 is for. So it's not the Blue Roofs this season. Not the Blue Roofs. I'll have to figure that one out. Hey, what's up, Vets? Yeah, Vets. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Yes, top of the evening to you. Captain RG3 is a win. Thanks, David. I appreciate it. Oh, Brissology. You need 50K a year for every year you plan on being alive. Dude, 50K? Maybe for you and your no hood on your car, but me and my family were starved on 50K, bro. Sorry, but 50K is not that might be like old man eating dog food with his wife dead and sitting on his front porch with rocking chair 50K, but no, man, not a regular lifestyle, that's for sure. Alan, too bad the mayor cut the fire department budget by 17 million USD and was asking 49 million USD cut a month ago, which would shut down 16 fire stations. The mayor of LA did that. I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about that, but yeah, who knows? Charles talking shit got bit. Oh, okay. And the reservoir that held 117 million gallons of water was conveniently under maintenance this month. Oh, come on, man. Don't give me conspiracy theories like they shut down the water so they can burn everybody's houses. Nobody does that shit. Nobody does that shit. Let's see. But sorry, if you have everything paid off, maybe. I don't know, Hexander. 50K is. I mean, I know some people that can live off of 50K, like, but that's like SJ can live off of like a quarter of that, right? Like she could live off like nothing. She grows her own food. She parks her bus next to it and eats it. And, and I mean, she's probably somebody could do that, but, people with kids and houses and cars and college expenses and kids still in school. No, man, not going to do it on 50K. Johnny Chaos in the house. What's up, Johnny? Lord, he knows how. Yes, I don't know what he said. He's 37. Yes, he's 37. He is 37, bro. He's 37. That's insane. He's 37 and the captain is 22. Thanks, Alan. I'll take it. I'll take it. I think I probably look older than him, really, with the gray hair and all that stuff. And I should have shaved today, but I didn't. But it's his beard, and he's got that old man kind of face, and he dresses like in tweed and shit. It's like, come on, bro. But hey, that's his thing. I'm not going to say, like, I get more shade for my new dreads than, I mean, I can't believe people are so upset about haircuts. Like if I would have shaved my head, nobody would have said anything. If I would have got a nice haircut, or if I would have just let it grow out a little longer, nobody would say anything. But I put these on and started dreading my own hair. Like I got like 9-10 inches of my own dread in here now. And, once I trim it off, it's basically just my hair now. But I mean, gosh, the shade I got for my hair, it's like, really? That's your thing now, is my hair? Come on, you could do better than that. You can do better than that. Oh, I say, that's how you liking the dreads. You know what? I dig them. A lot of people don't like them. The family hates them. I know my team pretty much hates them. I know that, SJ, she doesn't say anything either way. She's like, yeah, whatever makes you happy, RG, you go ahead and do that, but I like them. Nobody else does. And that's cool because, again, I am who I am, and your approval is not necessary. Let's see. So, yes, I am liking them, vets. I am. You were calling us dumb motherfuckers. You were calling us dumb motherfuckers. No, Brissology, I usually just call you that. I just usually call you that. I didn't mean that, buddy. You're my boy. You are my boy. Sandy Beach, my lady. Welcome. Good to see you. And I hope you're doing well. I know I don't want to make anything public, but I hope you're doing well. I've been thinking about you. I was thinking about you today, wondering how you were doing. I hope all is well. What did I come into? Just me, just talking crap. Please, Captain, tell us what a T-share is. All right, Dorsey, you just got yourself number two timeout for Dorsey. Did that work? Did it work? SJ, make sure he's in timeout. There, I think I got him in there. So T-shares, for those of you who don't know what T-shares are, they're very simple and very easy to explain. And I'm going to do that real quick because we don't do that often enough. So if you're in Hex, if you're here to understand and learn about Hex, T-shares are the most important thing in Hex that you need to understand. Now, how does a T-share work and what is it? Well, gosh, it was so confusing at first. Like, what the freaking hell is a T-share? So Hex's immutable code gives you the ability to stake it, meaning you can stake your Hex without using anybody's front end, it's immutable. The code does it. You don't have any middlemen. There is nobody to give your crypto to, nobody to give up your keys to, nowhere to send them. So what you do is you operate a function in the code. And that function in the code allows you to stake the amount of Hex that you want to stake for the amount of time that you want to stake it for. Now, there are bonuses as to how much Hex you stake and how long you stake it. So the Hex that you put up on the board may come out to effectively be a little more Hex than you put up on the board. Therefore, they call it effective Hex. That Hex is what is going to get staked. Now, what happens then when you decide you're going to stake it and you get your bonus? Well, depending on the price of the T-share, that moment when you hit the button, you're going to be issued that amount of T-shares for that amount of Hex at that specific time for the amount of time and the amount of Hex that you've put into the system. So now what happens? Your Hex, first of all, gets burnt. Gone. Doesn't go to the OA, it goes to a burn address. It gets disappeared. So Hex is inflationary and deflationary. Kinda. And I'll explain a little bit more. So boom, your Hex disappears. It's gone. But now you have this marker of 1 T-share, 2 T-shares, 5 T-shares, 10 T-shares, 1,000 T-shares, whatever it may be, sitting on a specific date. That date is its maturity date. And you have made an agreement with yourself and the contract to keep that Hex at that date. And until that time, you don't touch it. Because if you do, you will get penalized. Bigly penalized. You will be penalized bigly for taking that Hex out early. Even 1 day early, an hour early, it's a pretty big penalty. Now, if you serve half of the time of your stake, meaning if you have a 10-year stake and you serve 5 years, you will get your principal back. All of your principal comes back to you after 50% of that stake time has transpired. So you can get your principal back, which is why in the early days, during big payday, right before big payday, I urged everybody to emergency unstake their stuff and stake for longer because they would get a much better deal by doing so. And a lot of people did, and a lot of people thanked me for explaining that. So effective Hex, landing on a spot, giving you a date. Now, if you honor that date, you get all of the early end stake penalties and all of the yield offered to you that day, offered each day up until that stake ends for your Hex. Therefore, when you unstake that, your T-share is burnt and a calculation is done, meaning a calculation is done to make sure that you can't create that same stake for the same value that you started it with. So therefore, if that equation pushes the T-share price up beyond your ceiling, then you have to pay more to get that stake. Therefore, the value of the T-share goes up, always going up. The value of the T-share goes up. Now that T-share is burnt, it's gone forever, and you are given brand new, freshly minted Hex, not your old Hex and some new Hex. You're given all freshly minted Hex coming out of the system and landing in your wallet for you to do what you wish with. And if it's a year-long stake or more, now it's long-term capital gains that you're worried about. Now you can do something like create a staking ladder so that every month, after about 3 or 4 years, you're pulling out stakes every single month, and you're taking that interest and you're putting that in the bank or keeping it in stables, and the rest of it's going back out at the end of your staking ladder. And that's basically how T-shares work. And I've explained that before, but for some reason there's a big joke about the captain explaining T-shares. Anyway, David says, how do we lead the community in the right direction? I have a PulseChain official YouTube and Instagram, but I'm not good with content creation. Well, David, you just got to keep doing what you do. And the fact that you want to help, the fact that you want to be here, the fact that you want to do this stuff, and nobody's offering to pay you or any of that, shows that you're really part of the community. And that alone and who you are and who you're trying to be will be enough for people. All you have to do is turn the damn camera on, throw it up to YouTube, and talk and invite people and read articles and just tell people what you've got going on, what you're excited about. Tell your story, because that's I think what people really want to relate with is people's stories. You know, I think that, you know, the biggest surprise for me is when I meet people out in the Hex community, and I get this weird celebrity kind of interaction with people. I'm not used to that. I've never been comfortable with it. But I understand, you know, and so I just try and be as real with people as possible. I try and explain my situation as clear as possible. I let people know who I really am, what I really do, and let them in so that we can all be part of this. And that's why these events that I have created, that I put on, are so important. And I think they're important. And I know lately that's been questioned and in doubt, but not to me, because I know what it's meant to some of you and what it's meant to me to actually get in front of you guys. You know, even the Hexican OGs that are bashing me right now for the event, even the friends of mine that are telling me that I shouldn't be doing these things, especially if they're costing me money, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I think that there's extreme value in us all coming together and meeting. I think there's extreme value in the people that have met at my events that I've had nothing to do with, but they met each other, and somehow, some way, they've provided value to one another and created things, whether it was a relationship or whether it was a project or whether it was work outside of the crypto space, whatever. There was value there in human interaction. There is value there in people getting to know who each other are, versus this 2D world that we live in. I want to break down that wall. I want to prove that we're something different than the rest of everything else that's out there. We are different. When we come together, we're different. I know this because I've been to those crypto events. And even though there's some very nice people in those crypto events, they don't have what we have. They don't have the camaraderie that we have. They don't have the excitement. They don't have the care and the high fives, hugs, and handshakes that I see at all of these Hexican events. We're a different breed of crypto folk. And I attribute that to the events and because of how close people have gotten with one another. So anyway, let's see who else is in here. Glad you're safe too, Briss. Yeah, Briss is out there. Whoa, I'm standing right here, RG. Yeah, man. You are. Are you standing? Oh, maybe you are. I'm sorry. I thought you were sitting down. Sorry, Briss. Let's see here. Well, don't be stupid and pay your taxes, you Americans. Avoid the headaches, in my opinion. I agree. Some people, you know, they don't know how to get away with it, to do whatever. Paul Sachs, what's up? All his love too. Let's see. Alan says, I read that article. He did boneheaded things, though. He went and bought a house, didn't report any income on his BTC. Yeah, I know, man. People do that. If I'm already locked up, then I'm dead. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Berkshire Hill Farm Homestead, what's up? He shouldn't have signed the contract. Let's see. Landfill guy is lucky they didn't tax him, admitting how much Bitcoin he had. Yeah, I know. He gave it up, right? People should go and read the white paper for Hex. It's all in the white paper, FYI. Steak and chill. Yes, steak and fucking chill, Dorsey, right? Reflection tokens are the innovation on PulseChain. There's a lot of good innovation on PulseChain. I'm digging it. What's up, Mr. Rock Jockey? Good to see you, man. Uh-oh. Hold on one second. I know who it is. Anyway, sorry, I got my phone. I was going to answer it, but I decided not to. That's my cigar buddy. I got a cigar buddy. He lives in Vegas. We've been friends for many years. He's a big cigar enthusiast. He's got me kind of into it. I mean, I've always liked a cigar. I'll smoke a cigar 3, 4, 5 times a year, maybe, you know. Hanging out with him for the last few months, I've been like a cigar a day. Not good. I'm really enjoying those things too. But I think what I'm going to do is, now that I've gotten so into the cigar thing, that I'm really enjoying good cigars, I'm going to start doing videos and doing some cigar videos and reaching out into that community, because I don't want to keep soundboarding off of our Hexican community. We need to go in there and get some stuff done outside. Let's see who's else in. Feature not a bug. Yes, Giga. Thanks for that. I figured it out. I'm doing the funky fresh thing. I'm good. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody just saying hi. I would have loved to have been there when all this was going on in the beginning. I would have been insufferable more than I am now. Yeah, we were insufferable, man. We were insufferable. Let's see, what else do we got? Hey, Mithril Coat. We got Somi with lollipops, spoony, fluffy slippers, and squeaky chairs. Let's go. Yes, we do. Let's see, what else we got? Are you affected by the fires? No, I'm not. The wind's blowing away from me, so I don't even have the smoke. Of course, I've got friends and family out there, and man, it's horrible. It's horrible. No, Captain, that's not conspiracy. That's just what actually happened. I do live in this planet. Yeah, I know you live on the planet, but they always do you honestly think that somebody shut down a reservoir to burn people's houses down? I know they said that about Maui, and that turned out to be bullshit too and stuff, but you know what I'm saying? Like, the stuff that they say people are doing, that people are just not that evil. But yeah, I'm not arguing with you. I know that there's weird stuff. Let's see. I'm clipping this and tagging the captain and Charles. If we're going to war, let's do it with a nice fashionable battle. Our peg leg against his beard. No, I got 2 legs, man. I got 2 legs. No peg leg. Some. I'm wearing my sweats. I'm not gonna jump up. Not good. Your barber hates them. Yeah, my barber does hate long hair. Is awesome. Oh, thanks, Andy. Let's see. I'm probably way behind. Good to see you're doing better. Yes. Dorsey with a legendary 15-minute timeout. Did he get 15 minutes? Let's see. Sray 0x says, the more T-shares you have, the more yield you earn in the Hex T-share system, liquid gold. Yes. So the way that the T-shares are paid out is there's a pool. It's a pie, basically. And your T-shares are a piece of that pie. There is only a certain amount to make 100% of that pie. There's only a certain amount of Hex. Ooh, and this is the beautiful part. There's only a certain amount of Hex that can make up that pie. So when you look at the percentage of liquid Hex, the percentage of Hex that's in the OA, and the percentage of Hex that's staked, there's not very much damage that can be done to the APY. Now listen to this. The APY is calculated by the 3.69% inflation rate that Hex contract generates. That 3.69% is given to the stakers. No matter how many stakers are in that pool, that 3.69% of the Hex is given to the stakers. Now, if the staking pool has more Hex in it and more stakers, you get a lesser piece of the pie. The less stakers in it, the more piece of the pie you get. So it would be interesting to see if that is going up or down right now. Should probably look at those numbers to see. We may have been at a higher staking percentage earlier on than we even are now. So it's even more lucrative to be staked. But I digress. Let me go back. The amount of liquid Hex that's left available to stake, minus the OA coins, of course, is not enough to drop the APY by more than like 20% APY. That's why I've always said that Hex is an enterprise, crypto enterprise tool extraordinaire. It is going to twist people's brains when they finally figure this out. It's going to be big, big. And that's one thing that people have not understood or discovered yet. Don't forget about longer pays better and bigger pays more. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, Saray, was the longer and bigger gives you bonuses based on bigger has to be really big and longer can be, of course, all the way up to 3,641 days. I think it's something like that. 10 years. After 10 years, you don't get any more long bonuses, but your Hex is really multiplying after that 10-year mark. Seeing the math on it, I couldn't explain the math to you because I'm not a maths guy. I'm not a maths guy. But somebody like Wales, like that's a good guy to ask about this. He understands this mathematics shit with the Hex T-shares and how it all works so well. And he taught me, and I forgot it, of course, but the way he explained it and I understood it at that time, yeah, it's good. Gotta love Hex staking, yes. I think Charles did a better job at explaining T-shares. Sorry, Captain. That's all right. You're getting close to getting a timeout too, Alan. I've really been given, have I really been given 15 minutes? Dorsey in here with his other account. Dorsey the turd when he's in timeout. Keep your nose up against the wall, Dorsey. I had to bring in the daughter as backup. When you gather T-shares over time, what is the value of all shares accumulated? Is it based on the original price or is it compounded? When you gather T-shares over time, what is the value of all T-shares accumulated? Well, I mean, it's obviously, so it's your cost average for your T-shares. And that depends on whether that was Hex you held or dollars you brought in to create more Hex, to buy more Hex, I mean, off the market. It all depends. The math is done that way. Like, what is your cost average into the T-share system? How many T-shares do you have? What was the value at the time when you bought those T-shares? How much yield are you generating? And the big one, what's the price of Hex when you cost out? That's the big one. That's, that's the one that a lot of people don't think about because not a lot of people, do cash out. This starting to feel like a therapy session for the captain. We should bill him at the end of the show. How's 150 million EHEX sound? Wow. That's a hefty, therapy session. When I fizzin boy you in, when I fizzin boy you in person, sir. I don't know, Wallace. I don't know what you're saying there. Am I missing what that word is? Am I too old for that? Is my Gen X coming out? Because I'm not a boomer. I'm an Xer. My friend Somi got me here. Really? Mithril. Somi sent you to us? Gosh, I didn't. I've probably, he and I have mentioned each other maybe a handful of times ever in all of our our days. I really like Somi. I think he's super talented. I think that he's got some great points. He's very smart, and his production value is just fucking phenomenal. He's a great asset to the community, in my opinion. Have we all made mistakes? Yeah. Have we all said stupid shit? Yeah, him included. I've even said so to him, but I've said way more stupid stuff than he has, and way less valuable stuff than he has. So, in my opinion, I've always said that there are going to be better streamers that come to the Hex community, and he was one of them. I was really glad to see him come in. We need guys like him. Let's see. Welcome new people. Milk crates required. I don't know. Someone's a good friend of the community. Yes, he is. I will fanboy you in person. Identify as Hex as my Hex sack day. Okay, pretty cool. Cool. When's the best time to get a t-share, Captain? Right now is the best time to get a t-share. Why? Because it's always going up in price. So you need to get your t-shares as soon as possible. As soon as possible. That's why I always say that if you're creating a staking ladder, or you are putting out multiple stakes and you plan on doing 15-year stakes, do your 15-year stakes first. Why? Because you get more bang for your buck. If you're going to do a 15-year stake anyway, why do it a year from now when the price of T-shares is way more expensive than doing it now? If you do it now, that 15-year stake is maturing with way more T-shares in it than you would have if you do it a year from now. And the 15-year stake is what's going to bring you your value. So young people, definitely, you should be 15-year staking. Those of you in my age, sorry, but you might not have a couple 15-year stakes in you. You might want to think that one over. But anyway, that's the best time to get a T-shares. By the way, this is your show, so you guys can come in. I've put the link, SJ has put the link in the chat room, and it is there for you to come in. Is Cigar Aficionado magazine being delivered to you now? No. And I don't know if I too much dig Cigar Aficionado myself. They're like a corporate thing. Like, I don't know. I've seen the brands out there, and then I've kind of started looking at some of the of the top 10 cigars by a Cigar Aficionado, and they're these $100 cigars, right? And like, man, who wants to smoke a $100 cigar, right? I've smoked $3 cigars. I've smoked $50 cigars, $75 cigars. And I don't see, well, now that my palate is changing a little bit because I smoke so many of them, I don't see the real value in something that costs $100 to burn up. If I was offered one, it was a gift or whatever, heck yeah, I'd enjoy it and whatever. But there's so many other good sticks out there that are like anywhere from $5 to $15, that you can really enjoy. So yeah, anyway, I don't dig too much on it. Well, CNN said there's nothing suspicious. Move along, folks. Bristology. More weird stuff than not. Yeah. The Masons own it. No, they don't. They don't own it. Look, I've got literally, let's see, shed? No. I have a great uncle that was I don't know if I'm, anyway, he was one of the 33rd level Masons, or whatever. I've got his sword. I've got all his jewelry and the ruby rings and stuff that they all wore. And he was just a cool dude, man. He, very stoic. So I don't know what he might've been up to behind the scenes, but he was a normal guy. He worked for Shell Oil all his life. He was a longshoreman out there in the coast here in California, and did well and was very, very humble. Lost his wife at a young age, never got remarried, just kind of lived as kind of a hermit, but was a 33rd, whatever they call him, level Mason or whatever. I've got all of his Mason stuff. Not that I knew much about it. I didn't know much about it. I learned more about it after Pops passed away and I was handed all of his stuff. If we move around the solar system while spinning, why is the North Star not moving more? Oh, Ask Neil deGrasse. Neil deGrasse has a firm grasp on all of that stuff, I think. I might put my tinfoil hat away for the night. Okay. Yes, bombard whales with DMs. Lol, I can hear him now. Oh boy. Yeah, I didn't mean to bombard whales with DMs. He won't answer you anyway if he doesn't want to. That's the way he is. He's like, he didn't give a shit. Whales don't give a shit. I love that guy. He and I, we learned a lot from each other in the early days of Hex. He talked me into a lot of good thinking, that's for sure. And I think he and I both, we had a really cool give and take relationship when it came to talking about each other's attitudes towards all this and stuff. And it was really, really good. I really appreciate that, dude. Was AFK what I miss? Oh, you were away from the keyboard. So what did you miss? You didn't miss anything, Mail. Hey, good to see you, Mail. Your boy, man. Tearing it up out there, huh? Hey, I survived that statement. Boomer, no fun. Damn it, Dorsey. Why? Why are you doing this to yourself? Why? Because I said you hadn't been in timeout for a while, so you're going to make a record out of it. Not everything has to be a conspiracy. No, not everything has to be a conspiracy. But some things you just have to look at in reality. Some things you just have to give a little bit of trust to. Some things you have to hope are going to be better, or try and make better, or try and understand them from all points of view versus one strange point of view. That's what I always feel it's better. You know, like I've had conversations recently with some people that were coming to me and asking me about specific things that were happening within the community, specific things that had happened with stuff that had gone on that hurt people. And I was like, well, let's hear it from everybody's side, what happened, you know? And one side is saying this guy's a scammer, and the other side is saying I didn't scam anybody. I'm just, this is what I did. This is what's going on. And somewhere in the middle always lies the truth. You know, there's his story, her story, and somewhere in the middle lies the truth. And, you know, when I talk to people, I always tell them that. I say, look, man, this is my story and this is what I know. And if my integrity means anything to you, it means a lot to me. This is my side of the story. This is how I know it to have happened. And you make with it what you want, because it's just me talking. You need to go talk to the other people that you're concerned about or whatever, find out what their part of the story is, and then try and piece it all together yourself. Because all I know is my side of the story, and I can't put words in anybody's mouth. I can't accuse or indemnify or make just anybody else. That's on them and your conversations or your interaction with them. I can only tell you my side of it. And that's what I live by. You know, again, I am who I am, and your approval is not necessary. $65 for a 30-pack of smokes here in Australia. Oh my gosh. For cigarettes? Oh my gosh. Call the police. Tim Scott says he will undo all the damage Gary did. This includes Mr. Hart. I hope so, man. I hope so. I really, really hope so. Awesome Space RG, not a Mason. Yeah, I'm not a Mason either. I'm a family member of a higher up Mason. But I knew nothing about him, to be honest. When it came to that, it was very secretive. Yeah, it wasn't something that back then nobody really talked about Masons and any of that stuff, you know, in the 70s, and he passed away back in the 70s. So yeah. Pack of 30. Great. No, he can't answer for me. Thanks, Captain. Yeah. Oh, that was expensive. Damn, never mind. And who sells packs of 30? Isn't the standard 20 in a pack? I think it is. I mean, even cigars go mostly for 20 in a box. So anyway, all right. Well, I've gone through the chat. Anybody coming in today? Anybody want to join us? Here's the invite link. Let's see. I think it's in the chat room. I'll just keep talking because I'm not gonna shut it down after an hour. It's Friday night. Have a little bit of time awake. If I go in there, I'll just doom scroll and fall asleep. Do something stupid like that. Go buy more cigars or coffee or whatever. Oh, coffee. My coffee making skills have just completely improved. Oh man, I figured out some really cool stuff on I got a hand press espresso maker that today I made a phenomenal cup of espresso. Yes. I would come up, but I'm cotton mouth. Sorry, sir. Cuatro Cinco cigars. Yes. Crispy. Hey, Crispy's in. We're going to have one together. I'm going to make sure that we do that. Cuatro Cinco 5555 cigars. I like that. I've got some ideas. A buddy of mine, well, I was talking about him a little earlier. He wants to he wants to set up a rolling operation. He wants to roll cigars. People it's pretty cool. They'll go to they'll go to a bachelor party or a party and they'll roll cigars for the party. Fresh cigars, boom, boom, hand rolled right there. It's a thing. Damn, Dorsey the Turd wants to get put in timeout too. Now both your accounts are in timeout. Yeah, the cigar thing is pretty interesting. You can do parties and roll cigars at parties. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's see. Crispy. What's your all-time favorite, Crispy? What's your cigar choice? So there's something about the ritual, smoking a cigarette. I smoked cigarettes for years when I was a young man. I haven't smoked cigarettes for over 25 years. I think it's like 28 now. Yeah. 28 year. But I did mess around with a vape for a couple months and that was awful. That was the worst experience ever. I mean, I can't imagine the addictiveness of that vape and what that does. Oof, it's crazy. Now cigars don't do the same thing and they don't have all those chemicals in them. A real hand rolled, quality cigar is completely nothing but tobacco. There's no additives, nothing. Even the glue they use is just a vegetable paste, or they use honey or molasses or whatever. But a real hand-rolled cigar is not as bad for you as, say, tobacco products that are filled with chemicals and other nicotine additives and bullshit. Not saying that they're healthy for you, but I've heard that up to 4 cigars a day does not affect your lifespan. And in fact, the people who smoked 4 or less cigars a day had a better lifespan because they were more chilled and relaxed. Because there's something about the ritual of smoking a cigar that just kind of relaxes you, sits you down. It's quiet time. Cigarette, boom, boom, boom. You smoke it in like 10, 15 minutes, right? You're done. Cigar, some of them can take you an hour and a half to smoke cigar, and you have some time. Yeah. So anyway, look who we got here. We got somebody jumping in. Let me jump in real quick. I'm going to pull you up just a second. La Flor Dominica, LFD chapter 2. Oh, all right. I think I have one in here. I don't think I have the LFD. No, I have the LFD, not the chapter 2. Not sure. I'd have to look. I like the My Fathers. That's like right now. That's like kind of what I've been stuck on lately. I ordered some Padrones to, check out. I got a sampler pack of those coming. But I'm really like the My Fathers right now. Those are delish. Vapes have glycol too, and that ain't good for you. Nope. All right, let me pull up, ladies and gentlemen, one of our Aussie folks from the fight world, Mayo. What's happening, buddy? How you doing, man?
Hey, how are you? How's
You
your,
do?
how's your Christmas, New Year's? Been good?
Yeah, everything's good, man. Everything's good. New Year's here. All the Christmas stuff is put away. It's all gone. That means it's springtime, as far as I'm concerned. It's time for the spring. Like, get rid of all of that holiday stuff and winter shit, and let's bring on the heat, baby. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, see, the opposite. We're in the heat, sweltering heat, humid.
Ugh.
Yeah,
So-
out on the beach every day.
Yeah. So what else have you been up to?
Not much, man. Working, grinding.
How's our boy
holidays,
doing?
family time.
How's
He's
Jake
doing
doing?
pretty good, man. I haven't caught up too much with him the last sort of month, but yeah, he's doing pretty well over in Thailand at the moment, living it up.
His
doing
career's
his
really
thing.
really taken off. He's doing well.
Yeah. So hoping to get some more international stuff with that. We'll see how we go this year.
Nice.
So I'll try to catch up with him once all the silly season's done and dusted and we're all back to work.
Yeah.
He hasn't stopped. He hasn't stopped, but he's still going hard.
Yep, that's what those athletes do, man. Just keep it going, keep it going, keep it going.
Yeah. So how about yourself? What'd you get up to over the holiday period?
Well, just relaxing with the family, doing all that good stuff, and getting ready for the next couple of trips here. I'm going to go out and visit Randy Alarski out in Panama and his event at the end of the month here, and then gonna trip back over to Europe probably and hang out in Europe for a little bit, and keep doing the thing here. Just keep it going. Waiting for some answers from the legal world. See when this case is going to either be dismissed or tried or whatever. Interesting.
Before you cut you off there, before I forget.
Yeah, go ahead.
One question for the Aussies: when Aussie PulseChain tour? When RG Aussie?
I wanted to do it last year, but the numbers were so abysmal in the at the events that it just financially it just didn't make sense to haul the team out to Australia in the middle of all that and try and make something happen. But I'm sure see a bull run. I'd love to get out to Australia, man. It's one of my bucket list things I got to get out there and do. And something about meeting all the Aussie Hexicans is going to be something special because there's a bunch of you out there that I want to meet.
Yeah, I think, even if you just came for a random holiday trip without organising the team, I'm pretty sure would be enough of us to host you and something would just happen, something would come together without even trying.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that, just coming out there would be easy. It was just last year, it was, kind of in the middle of the tour. So we tried to make it work. We just couldn't. By the time we got done with Canada and Europe, it was just too much for us to try and put in there, especially with the Vegas event being planned. We had a lot of work to get done on that. That meant we had to get back home, get the holidays over, get this done, because it was like we knew what was going to happen is as soon as the new year came, we were going to be, full speed ahead, putting things together for the PulseChain 369 event in Vegas. And that's where it's been. It's been a whirlwind. We've been on the phone with everybody, putting projects together. They're coming to the PulseChain tour. And it's been a whirlwind of busy time for us getting this tour together or getting this Vegas event done. So as soon as I can break away and get some time, maybe next year, I want to get out to Australia for sure. And by the way, it's called the Pulse 369 Conference. I'm supposed to make sure that
clarify that.
Yeah, I got to clarify that. I'm being told in the back room that I need to explain it correctly, which I just like to call it the Pulse Convention. But anyway,
It's all in the detail.
It's all in the detail.
Yeah, same thing, vice versa for me. When I can, I want to get over to your side of the world and pay a visit over there and have a trip. So we'll see. Next year
Anytime you get
hopefully.
out here to Cali, let me know. Let me know.
Yeah, I've done the Europe, done the Portugal. Next is America.
Yeah. So, were you in Portugal with us?
No, I wasn't with
No,
you guys.
you
I
didn't
just
make it
done
with.
a little holiday with the family. Yeah.
Gotcha.
missed
Yeah,
that.
we did Portugal. That was a good time. There were a lot of good Hexicans out there.
Yeah.
Lisbon, yeah, city, remind me a little bit of San Francisco, but down south, man, Portimao and all that area
Yeah.
down there towards the Spanish border. Man, that was something else down there. I really liked that area. That area was nice.
Yeah, that's where we visited there. We had some family retire and move over there. So
Oh yeah,
that's where we're looking potentially.
Yeah, it's
one
good
day.
stuff. They've changed their program a little bit, but it's still pretty decent. It's still pretty decent.
Yeah, good temp, good beaches. So similar to here,
yeah.
less tropical, less humid, which is good.
Yeah.
All right, and then a quick change of subject before I forget the second question. Going back to your waiting on the legal decision, which we all know is coming very shortly. Fingers crossed. So this came up in the conference and also on the Aussie stream yesterday. But the question is for everyone watching: would everyone prefer SEC to dismiss and throw the case out, or would we all prefer for it to drag on and we fight and we obliterate them and change the course of potentially history or future?
So there's definitely risk reward involved there. Risk being going to trial puts everything at risk if you lose. And then, however, going to trial and winning, there's a lot of win there. So would I rather us take the chance or to be honest, I think there's enough battles to fight, and I'd rather see the thing get dismissed and go away and then go to work from there. There is a part of me that would love to see Murderers Row, which is what I call Richard's legal team, go in there and mix it up with the SEC, because I already saw what they were capable of. Like those boys got the goods, man. They know what they're doing, what they're saying. And I can't say the same for the SEC, although they're capable. Their legal team is capable. I've spoke to one of the lawyers, but they don't have a case really. They've got some really horrible information, and now this other stuff that's coming out, I don't quite understand. But although Richard's team's capable, although there would be a great reward if they were to go in there and blast the SEC and make crypto, a freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of publishing, all that good stuff. And it's a human right to own crypto, to be in crypto, to write code for crypto. Although I'd love to see all that, I don't necessarily think that would be the outcome like we'd want. There might be some great arguments for it in that case coming from that team of lawyers, but how it gets interpreted and how it gets litigated, I don't have a whole lot of confidence in, because I haven't seen up to this point crypto really, really win, and XRP has probably done the best job of that as far as winning, and Coinbase has done a pretty good job too. But there's been no landmark decisions or like things that have put crypto like completely on the map because they won this case or that case or whatever. It's all been a lot of just, yeah, okay, we fucked up. We shouldn't have been fucking with you guys. All right. Or slap your hand and go keep doing what you're doing.
Sweep it under the rug.
Sweep it under the rug. And although I'd like to see us put up a good fight and a good case, but I just don't think that the outcome would be all the things that we would want it to be. Richard getting exonerated is one thing. Hex, PulseChain, PulseX being the saviors of crypto is a whole nother thing. And I don't think that's what this case is about. So I don't think that would be the outcome. I think it's either going to convict or exonerate Richard. And, even though I've said in the past that, hey, maybe they're going to use this to platform and put some good stuff out there for DeFi and crypto, and we'll make precedent and all this stuff. But if it was set up to do so, then that could be the outcome. But it's not set up to do so. It's set up to either convict or exonerate Richard for certain things that don't really have anything to do with all of this freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom, So even though those might be good arguments, and they might even get him exonerated, and they might set some type of precedents for people to argue that case history in their cases, I just don't think it's going to be the end all be all outcome that we would want it to be. And I'm not trying to FUD the situation or bring it down. I'm just trying to kind of live in reality with it and realize that, it's really a case about, is Richard a bad guy or is he okay? And that's really what the judge is going to try and decide versus, is crypto free speech? It could be one of the outcomes, could be something that's in there that people use. But I don't see it as being this like, moment, you know what I mean? But that's just my opinion on it. And so I'm hoping that, to be honest, that it gets dismissed or broken down a little bit, like, no, you guys can't try it this way. These things are allowed. This isn't allowed, whatever. If it works out to be something like that, I think that's to the betterment of Richard's, plight. If the more and more stuff they take off the table and call unjust or incorrect or inaccurate, I think the better off he'll be and his outcome will be. And then ours, for that matter. One of the cool things that is going out there litigation wise is that we're allowed to go after Binance again. That case has been reopened. If for people who don't know, or if you don't know out there, the Hexicans sued CZ of Binance for gatekeeping us and keeping us on page 120 when we were the number 3 crypto at all-time highs. And a judge kind of threw that out, or grand jury or whatever it was. I'm not really good at the legalese stuff. Herbs can probably verify, validate, and explain that better than I can, for sure. But what happened was the court said, no, we're going to throw this out. There's no real reason for that to occur. Nobody's been harmed. And we were a little astonished by that. But the lawyers picked it back up, took it to different jurisdictions with different Hexicans. I was involved in some of those conversations. And they finally ended up settling with a trial in Arizona. And they brought it back up, and the lawyers worked on it again and put it in front of, I believe it was a judge, not a grand jury. But the judge said, yes, you guys can try this. You have a case. So we now have a class action lawsuit back up and going against Binance for the gatekeeping, which I think is a win for us. Just the fact that they're going to listen to it. And I don't know if we're going to be able to attend, but that might be something we might all want to grab and go to also, because it is a class action suit and a lot of people will be involved. And just recently I wrote a letter to the SEC stating that, my opinion on Richard's innocence, my involvement with Richard, and also what they've done to harm. And I stated specific dates and times that they had done things to us or to this community. by putting subpoenas out there and news articles about Richard and this and that and the other with this case that could possibly be thrown out. I stated that, hey, you guys have done more damage than Richard Hart. You guys have hurt the price of Hex and the people that are invested in this more than he has. That's for sure. And,
I cut you off, but as a metric for people, we all know what people think of market cap, for example, and people that aren't as educated as Hexicans. Market cap is a big figure for some people that are looking at things. So when we've got number 3 market cap that we're gate kept back at page 201 or whatever the page was, people aren't looking because they're not seeing that market cap value. So there's a potential loss of other investors coming in from that reason.
Exactly. So we were harmed by that. And we've been harmed by a lot of people, from Tone Vase and his lawyers to all the influencers out there who were paid by people who asked them not to shill us, not to say things. I've talked to influencers that have said that their handlers told them not to talk about Hex, not to talk about Richard, and to speak ill of him. I know they've done that. I know for a fact that they've been told to do that. And to see everybody coming at us to even watch the marketing of the highest of stakes get kept in the Hollywood community, in the movie industry, and how that went, and what they were saying and what they were asking for versus what we were delivering to them, or what, Muse Entertainment delivered to them. It was like all around, it's been nothing but, gatekeeping and us fighting them all, and it's going to be time for us to win. It's going to be time for them to atone for what they've done. Pun intended with Tone Vase. They are going to have to pay for the damage that they've created. And whether that's in us succeeding or us winning some legal cases or them finally exonerating us, accepting us, and understanding what it is that we have our hands on, some way, somehow we will be vindicated. And I won't stop until then. I will not stop. That's my that's my commitment to this, is that no matter what they've thrown, 6 subpoenas, you name it, death threats, the whole shebang, shaboom from everything out there, not going to stop me from doing what I'm doing. Not going to stop me from fighting for this thing. Not going to stop me from backing Richard Hart up and what he's done here. Because he's changed my life. He's changed a lot of other people's lives. And I think he's the best guy in crypto. And I'm going to stand next to him. I'm going to be on the right side of history, whether they take him down or he's exonerated. I'm going to be standing there right next to him. And I think that we're going to be on the right side of history when it all comes out, to be honest.
Yeah, and going back to the conference and everything that was spoken about over the last few days, I think Sammy brought it up yesterday, actually, and after we had Herbs and Zicky, I think it was, talking about the legal stuff. What other community in any other coin or crypto or blockchain is as loud or as here as us? We're here. No one's going anywhere. There's more fight on the internet than anywhere else. Who else is going to back their founder?
No, we've got the best of the best, and and I mean, just think about it. Like think about it. Real quick. Hey, JFK, good to see you, my man. Good to see you, dude. I've redone my studio is now my man cave, and I tell everybody, I put a lot of my father's things in here. He had a really badass man cave, pirate man cave. My pirate sword up in the back there from my pops. But your Aussie hat that you send me is sitting in the most perfect spot. I know you can't see it here, but it is. I've got it. He gave me the Crocodile Dundee hat with the
yeah,
dude.
with the teeth on it.
Yeah. What do they call it? It's a jacker.
I need to get you some. We need to get him a corkscrew hat.
A jackaroo, right? Is that what it's called? A jackaroo? Yeah,
Perfect.
this is the real deal.
Now,
That ain't no.
Now you just need a big knife.
That ain't no phony. I mean, it's got the really nice hat band on it, the Jackaroo brand, the whole thing, man. Leather, really, just love that.
You need a big knife to go with it now. You call that a knife?
I got a couple. I got some bigger guns though to go with it. So that's not a gun. This is a gun.
Yeah, you gotta say that's for sure. Hey, I've still got to this day in the cupboard behind me. There's some gloves, some shorts, and everything waiting for you guys. You and Kinetics as a pair for you both.
Oh, dude, man, that is, that's awesome. I would love that. That would go real nice in my man cave here. But
yeah, it's looking good. Good collection going on there.
Yes. Let me see real quick. Dorsey says, just turned to see RG3 and Mayo on stream. Winning. Yeah, JFK, we are.
We always win. It just takes time.
Yeah, they fuck with the wrong community. I think that they made us, to be completely honest. You know, they kept, you know, we knew we were right. We knew Richard was right. We knew Hex was better. We knew all these things because the smartest people in crypto got into Hex. I saw it. I see it everywhere I go. Hex
I'll take that compliment.
Yeah, the smartest people in crypto are in Hex. And, you know, I know that other influencers have said otherwise, but that's just not the truth. We've got the best. And because of that, we are resilient. We are convicted. I mean, this community is convicted. Like we're not going to lay down for anybody. You know, Richard didn't make us that way. He didn't put the things out there that he put out there for us to just lay down and take it and let it go away. You know, we fought back. Now, at times we may have gotten a little over the top with stuff. But you know, that just comes from, you know, when you're beat so hard, when you're broke down so much, you know, when you do get a win, you want to celebrate and you spike the football every now and then, you know, and, you know, like our video we did where we danced on a coffin. It's not our best moment, but we were just spiking the football because we had been fucked with so much. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm not saying that we couldn't have been a little more humble about it or whatever, but you know, we deserved that moment. We deserved a moment to spike the fucking football, and we did. And I don't take it back. Wasn't one of our best moments, but you know, we were made this way through trials, tribulations, and pressure that was put on us outside of our community. Our community wasn't putting the pressure on anybody. We were trying to explain, trying to develop, trying to be part of, trying to show crypto there was a better way to do it, trying to get that message out there that Richard had taught us, you know, and because they wouldn't listen to us, and because they were calling us scammers, and because we were getting death threats, and because they were doing everything to stop the stuff we were doing, stopping our YouTube channels, fucking with Richard, everything, you name it. And it just made us stronger. It made us who we are. It made us very, very resilient, and made us the strongest community in crypto. That's what it did. Like cannot.
People are more educated now, aren't they? You know, when everyone's fighting to stop you, you know you're onto something. You know you're winning. It's a big thing now here with the government is, I want to go into the conspiracies, but whatever the government's telling you to eat or to do the opposite. Live longer.
You'll live longer and have a better life, right? Yeah. I don't disagree. I believe the government's necessary. I don't believe that we have a good one now, and I don't think the world has good governments right now. I think that we need a big revamping. JFK said, I think we don't need to fight them. anymore. Any chance Mayo can recruit Jake to Lund to go and physically fight them for a Hexican cause? Hell yeah, let's just throw Jake in there and let him just whoop some ass, right?
Just chuck Gary Gensler in the ring, mate, and see what happens.
Gosh, man, that guy is an animal. I freaking love watching him fight. Jake is a badass, man. Whew, he's a badass. Call it an Akubra.
Akubra it is. Yeah, the hat's Akubra.
Oh, is that what it is? An Akubra?
Yeah. And we've also got, have you ever heard of Dryzer Bone? They're like a brand of coat and hat.
Uh-huh.
Well,
this one is
waterproof, yeah.
Jackaroo? A Jackaroo?
Yeah, Jackaroo Akubra, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Brand. That's the one this one is. Freaking love this thing. Love it. Thanks, JFK. You're the man. Let's see. Chrissy.
Dorsey's comment of the PVC pipe barbed wire.
Oh boy, I'm not down there yet.
I think it's back a bit.
Thank you, Mel Tony said. Thank you, Crispy, for all that you do. Yes, Crispy is a man. I made the death threat. Hex Crypto, get your bags. Says he made the death threat. Whatever happened to Grandpa Stiffy? Did he go back to Japan? I don't know who's Grandpa Stiffy. I'm not sure.
Referring to what can I think of it? Mind blank. I think I know who he's talking about.
He's not talking about Papa Boner, is he?
Yeah, is it?
He's always. Oh, I didn't know he came back from Japan. I just thought he was all.
Yeah. I've sort of been away from a bit, just dealing with life, earning fiat, grinding, ignoring the FUD. Everyone gets too involved in the drama.
RG3 equals Grandpa Stiffy. I guess I'm grandpa age. That's for sure. That is for sure. So anyway, that's the end of the chat. That's the end of the chat. I've gone through the whole thing. Anything else going on out there that we should talk about?
What has anyone been looking into or talking about the? I think Richard called it actually the DOJ selling off the Silk Road Bitcoin. Has anyone spoken about that?
The DOJ doing what about Bitcoin?
Selling off the Silk Road.
Oh, I've heard a couple of things with the government selling off their Bitcoin. Was that the was that the Gox coins? I heard some about some of the Gox coins got dumped. I'm not sure if that was part of it or what, but I thought the Gox coins got returned and then they just dumped them. I don't know. I think Bitcoin's at 94,000 right now, so it's not not hurting. It's not over 100K anymore, but it's
standard FUD.
Yeah, and we're at that point in the start of the bull where we start to see that slow down dip, January going into February, and then so we'll see what happens, but usually that's kind of what we get, is that December slow down, January, and then bam, we start seeing it start taking off.
Now, for the Aussies, I think, don't quote me on this, I'm no professional financial man, but in the American terms, a financial year ends in December. Is that right? Yeah. So you have things like capital gains, capital loss in the States at December, January period, which correlates with the dips.
Yep.
For those in Australia that don't know. So something else to think about, whereas our financial year here in Australia is June, July. So there's a 6-month period there difference.
Gotcha. Yeah. See you, Dorsey. Have a good one, man. And good job on the timeouts today. Mithril says, yeah. So no, that makes a lot of sense. The end of the year. I used to see it in my industry where we were putting in machines all the way to the end of the year. Like people just bring it and stick it in my parking lot. That's all I want you to do is put it in my parking lot. I gotta take it
before tax time.
yeah. And then we'll put it back. We'll put it in January. Put it back in your warehouse and we'll put it in January, kind of thing. And I used to see that all the time because people just trying to
we're the same.
Yeah.
Same stuff with all the mining machines. We'll shift something around just for this June, July changeover.
Yeah. So Mithril Code said, so if someone talks shit about Richard, there will be an article saying what a good person. Somi said today the God Whale is paying someone to post positive articles on sites that post negative articles. That would be good. I'd like to see some of those articles. It's also
Yeah,
nice
you
to
got
see
the links.
we've got movement on the Binance case, and I'd really love to see this case turn a positive note. That might send us into a really good spin. If it was to be dismissed with everything else that's going on, I think that that would put us in a real positive spot for the next couple of months, moving into the next couple of months. I'd sure hate to see this thing get drug out and nothing change and it hurt us during the bull run, which I don't think is going to happen. To be completely honest, I don't think that's a possibility. But yeah, Decentralize Me is doing it.
Yeah, I've seen him post something up. I don't know if anything progressed, but I saw him write up a big post asking for Godware to help in some kind of way. Whether it progressed, I'm not sure.
Johnny said 2 more weeks. Yeah, 2 more weeks, man. 2 more weeks. Yeah.
I love a good fortnight.
Yeah. We've waited long enough. I think this bear market has been brutal, especially if you haven't been busy, if you haven't been doing things, if you haven't been making money, or you haven't been dollar costing in or whatever. It's going to be brutal. Perfect storm coming. Trump inauguration, SEC case dropped, Interpol FUD finalized, crypto bull and Pulse fiat on ramp. Just imagine that. Yeah. That's all freaking positive stuff. This, I want this inauguration to just, come and go and be over with so that we can get the new administration going, see what they're going to do, start to figure out what direction we could take, crypto in based on who gets put in the cabinet. A lot of good cabinet picks showing up. So I'm very bullish on that. I'm excited to see. I just, I want to see where the internal grift is going to be. Who is going to get to handle all of this? Who's going to say what's good crypto and what's bad crypto? Who's going to get to regulate, and who's going to get, who's going to make the gains on it? That's important to understand. It's on that.
Speaking of inauguration and Donald Trump, have you seen the Daily Mail here in Australia? I'm trying to find the post so I can link you. You can show it. They've made a post now with calls for Trump taking over our administration here and make Australia great again.
Oh boy!
Been a bit of a
be careful! Be careful what you ask for.
Oh, I've got to find
it. I know that this is going to be positive for crypto in some way, shape, or form. I don't know how or what it's going to look like because we don't know what it's going to look like and who's going to be in charge of the grift or whatever. But it's not going to be good all around. There are a lot of people in positions that are going to, try and cripple the government, destroy the government, this, that, and the other, which I'm not saying that there's not a lot that needs to be done here as far as that goes. There is a lot of fat that needs to be cut. There's a lot of, like we call it pork, that needs to be cut. But they got to do it in the right way so that it doesn't affect the economy too much, so that it doesn't affect the normal citizens too much. I think that's going to be the real indicator, because if you hurt too many people and they can't make ends meet and they can't make the economy run, then you're going to be in a bad place. And, crypto be damned if, okay, some of us are going to get wealthy and do very well. But if we don't have people buying in and coming in and able to have expendable income, then it's not going to be great for crypto. And that's my opinion is we got to be real careful about this wanting to throw the baby out with the bathwater situation. And it's just being rational and thinking about it. I know a lot of people like, fuck it, man, blow the shit up and start over. Well, when you start over, you get people with their fucking hands in the cookie jar and it ain't your hands. That's what happens. That's what happens. And I'm sorry, but some of the people that are fucking hanging around this dude, man, I don't trust them. I'm sorry. And that's what worries me. Yeah. Mel says, is Trump taking over the world? Canada, Greenland, Australia. I think the world is asking for too much. Let's take care of America first. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But I think that's just, I think the guy's brilliant in pissing people off. He knows how to make people upset and make them mad and get them looking at, hey, look over here. Don't look over there, and saying shit like, I mean, come on, like Canada's going to let us freaking erase the border and annex them in or whatever. I mean, it just wouldn't happen, but, and so people start talking about it and it's like, okay, yeah, keep them busy talking about that shit so they don't see anything else that we do over here, and that's why I got my eye on this shit, man, because you never know who's going to get in there and start grifting on us, man. Start grifting on us. You think it's bad now with the government we have. Yeah, just wait until you get an oligarch or two in there, or some people that are using the government to line their own pockets for real. And yeah, you'll see a whole different scenario happening here. But I think good times are coming for crypto. That's for sure. I think that we're going to be in a good spot. I just hope it's us not on the table, but at the table. South Park predicted the upcoming U.S. war.
Did the Simpsons predict it, but?
Mel Tony says, California is imploding. Nah, bro, it's all good, man. It's all good. We just had a little fire. That's all. They'll rebuild. They'll they always do. It'll all be good.
Oh, speaking of the fire, are you around that area? How are you faring?
I'm far enough away, and the wind's blowing that way, so I'm not getting all the smoke. I'm on the other side of the winds and the fire. But man, it's freaking horrible, man. I mean, the winds have stopped since yesterday. The winds have stopped, so that's good. That's good that it's stopped. So now they can put it out, fight it, and whatnot. But those winds, when they were blowing, man, I mean, it was like a blowtorch. Like some of these trees were on fire, and the wind was hitting so hard it was just cutting them in half because the fire was just getting so oxygenated, and so boom, heated up. It was crazy.
Yeah, I hope it settles for you. I hope you recover well and no one's affected.
Yeah. So far, so good. I literally just had a family member moved out of that area and down south, and they would have been right in the middle of it. But yeah, that was awful. Famous last words: people aren't that evil. You're right, man. Most people aren't that evil. But there are people out there who are evil that will do bad things to benefit themselves and not others. Yep, that is true. And what makes them do that? That's my first question: is what makes somebody that evil? What makes people want to hurt others? What hurt them? What made them that way? Is it just a fucked up wiring in their brain? Or were they abused so bad and hurt so much by the system itself that they want to do that back to people or something? I don't know. Or they just have a lack of common decency. Nobody taught them, Who knows? I don't know. I like to ask those questions and find out when people do stupid shit or bad shit. What was their intention? What were they trying to pull? Mithril says, I used to work in San Bernardino and drive up to Lake Arrowhead. Okay. That ain't too bad of a drive from San Bernardino. Well, depending upon San Bernardino is a big place. I think it's the biggest county in the whole United States, to be honest. But yeah, that's a good place to work up there in Arrowhead. Nice place.
Here's another quick thing. I just saw somebody posted a snippet of Zuckerberg when he was on Rogan talking about Interpol being corrupt.
Oh yeah. So that's something also interesting. So we have Elon that has the favor of the incoming president at this point, being offered some kind of position to I don't know, put a bureaucracy on top of a bureaucracy where a billionaire that's in charge of U.S. secrets and technology and contracts is now going to be in charge of what the U.S. government is going to spend contracts on and give money to make spending proper. I don't understand that, but anyway, Elon got the favor, and Zuckerberg, he pushed back on all of them and said, I'm going to fact check and do all this stuff, and free speech is not free speech on my platform, blah, blah, blah. Well, as soon as Zuckerberg saw that Elon had, caved or became part of, this is a tell right here, guys. This is a tell. All of a sudden, Zuckerberg flips and says, no, I'm good, man. You guys can say whatever you want on my platform, free speech, fact checking be damned. We're going to do community notes like Twitter does. You know what Zuckerberg did? You know what Zuck did? Zuck said, I don't want to be on the table. I want to be at the table. And that's what Zuck did. Now, this is alarming and should be alarming to everybody. If you don't understand history, if you don't understand oligarchs, if you don't understand pay to play, baby. Pay to play. If you don't understand that stuff, you don't see what's going on here. This is not how our country is supposed to operate. But it is. It is. This guy wants to make sure that he is not on the table, that he's at the table. So he is going to comply. Even though he said he was going to do something different, now all of a sudden he's complying. That should be a hint and a half for your asses on some of the shit that's going down right now. Shit's going down. Shit's going down. And yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing that he's doing what he's doing, but I'm just saying why. See, you gotta, it's not about the thing that's being done. It's the why, the reason behind it, the motivation, what makes people do the shit that they do, whether it's evil or good or what. Is it real for real? Are they trying to help society? Are they trying to help people? Or is it a grift? Are they saving their ass? Are they wanting to be part of something so that they don't get fucked up because of it? I'm telling you guys, that's what's important to really keep an eye on right now. And how people, why are people doing the things that they're doing? Zuck didn't do that out of freedom of speech, baby. He's already told you all to go fuck off. Years ago, he told you all, fuck off. I ain't letting you do it. This is what we're going to do here. This is how we're going to operate. He sat in front of the government. Yeah, no, guys, no, I'm cool, man. This is how I'm going to do it. Don't come after me, blah, 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 backpedaled and turned his thing into a shit show. And now, yeah, I'm cool, man. I'm cool with that. Yeah, go ahead, everybody. Say what you want. Because he knows he's about to get his ass handed to him. Elon's coming for his lunch and his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And Zuck's like,
remember when they're calling out each other to have the MMA fight?
Yeah. I think Zuck might take Elon. I think he might.
Yeah.
Elon, he's got no rhythm, man. I saw him trying to dance. He's just like, no, that guy's like, he's a spit and spaz. You know, he's got no rhythm to him. He's a flincher. He will flinch. Yeah, Zuck.
Yeah, well, Zuck's been training, man. He's been training.
Yeah, he'd probably take him.
Yeah, but it'd be a good watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. I am not. Yeah, I'm not into the fight side of it anymore.
Yeah. Have you noticed too lately? I'll call out Elon on this, and this goes to FUD with everything about just news in general and people posting articles. Elon's been on the Joe Rogan lately, and there's articles being posted because I'm sort of in the gaming world as well, right? So that he's been talking about this Diablo 4. He's been talking about this new game, Path of Exile 2, which I've sort of been into, my name in the game's Hexi Mayo, so I'm trying to talk to people in there, promote X as well. But the articles they talk about, and this is just an example of people posting articles. They've written one today about him and how well he is in this game and that he's the top ladder. There isn't even a ladder in this game yet. So just a small example of this, when people write news articles and people read it and believe it, that's just, you know what I mean? Like, we're in the crypto world where there's so much fucking bullshit going on. But just, you know, any news article, you need to check and research yourself, because they're saying Elon's this, this, and this to obviously get attention of the gaming industry, perhaps for his benefit. But it's all lies. Like, there's not even that feature in the game. So how can they report and say he's doing this stuff when it doesn't exist?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, because this country has never been in this situation before, where like the status quo has been decimated. Like, there is no more guardrails to stop the things that are about to happen. Like, things are going to open up. Bureaucracies and government agencies and things are going to be destroyed. Like, they're talking about selling the U.S. Post Office. The U.S. Post Office has been the most value add piece of service that we've had. I mean, for 50, 60 cents or whatever, you can send a letter around the country, whatever. Not that we need that anymore. Not that we use that anymore. But they are the final mile to the Amazon deliveries in some cases and whatnot. And it's always been a great service in this country. But now that's about to be destroyed or sold off to the highest bidder. And
can you imagine the corruption, though, if a private entity buys us out? What's to stop them sending and receiving things and not checking, or all the security on what's coming and going?
Well, yeah, and that all changes. Now all that changes, right? Yeah, all that changes, and so we have safeguards in place, and I'm not saying that all the safeguards were perfect or just or necessary. A lot of them, got stuck on just to make some other company rich. For instance, when some idiot got on an airplane with a bomb in his shoes and it didn't work anyway, now everybody around the world has to take their shoes off because of one guy that tried to do something that didn't work, and all of these machines that are out there. There's companies that made billions of dollars off of all of this security that we now have to face, and of course, when they did all that, they gave access. We lost freedoms, and they gave more access to these agencies to check us all out and to monitor us. And in the name of protection, we lost more rights. And that's how it goes.
I think the word over here at the moment is safety. So if they want to change anything or bring something in, it's for your own safety, and that fucking works every time. People are gullible as to the word safety.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the new we got the new act that's just passed here in Australia now? So they passed an act in legislation here that so they use the term, it's for the children and the safety of the children in online and social media, but it's now passed that if you're under the age, I think it was 13 or 16, you cannot use social media in Australia. So but it's not about the kids, because now as an adult, you have to provide your information and ID to prove you're over that age. People don't see it that way, the other way around. Mm-hmm. Also, in the same token,
now you're doxing yourself to have access, and they did it in the name of the protection of the children. But now you're doxed in order to protect the children. And in the same token, when you read the legislation and you go through it, it's a very broad statement of what social media is. So an average everyday person would think social media is perhaps Facebook, maybe TikTok, Instagram. The definition from the government is a very broad statement, and it basically leads to any internet, I think it's app or website or program or software
that people can communicate to each other. So that is a very broad statement. So that's at their discretion. It can be a gaming. It can be a gaming chat program. It can be like a Discord chat software. They're gonna all that will fall under. It could be this. Could be us talking on YouTube. Would be fall under that. It's such a broad statement, and they do this for everything. And people don't realize. I don't understand. Yep, but yes, it's safety for the kids. I'm voting that in, and here we are losing more freedom.
Yep. And that's how it goes. And that's how it goes with applause. There we lose our freedoms.
So that's what's just been passed here in Australia. It's ridiculous. So I don't know where that's going to lead us.
Had a run at it, that's for sure. Ash says, I mean, there's all kinds of conspiracy. It can be corruption on both sides. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. How there's this story, that story, and somewhere in the middle lies the truth, and that's kind of where a lot of things get misconstrued. Is like, well, where does
my saying is, I always say there's two sides to a story, and then there's the truth.
And then there's the truth. And then there's the truth, which is pretty much true. And sometimes that truth, because that truth's different, doesn't mean that there's a lie on either end. It just means that there's people that aren't informed on both ends to what's actually gone on. And I'm not saying that's with every case, but a lot of times there's just miscommunication, people being inaccurate with information that they do have or think they have, and not necessarily nefarious, but because people don't understand the whole story or the other side of the story. And that's why I always say, find out why before you accuse, or you call something stupid, or you shut something down, or you destroy something, or you break something, or, find out why. Because
have a conversation, have a discourse.
Have discourse. And you can see that in the whole Israeli Islam issue, right? Like both sides are hurt and feel destroyed, right? Are feeling like they're protecting themselves from being eliminated by the other side, and I've heard valid arguments from each side about how and why they feel the way they feel, and if somebody grew up in a terrorist state and they've watched their parents be murdered, and they watched, family members be made homeless and all this stuff, how can you not grow up in that and not be anti the other side? It's human nature to want to protect and avenge or whatever the wrongs that were done to them. And those wrongs were done in the name of doing a right, according to the other side. So that's where all of these people need to think about the other side, understand why people are doing what they're doing. Now, I'm not saying that that's every case. It's not. There are nefarious people. There are bad people. There are horrible people out there that just do bad things because they want to do bad things. But that's not always the case. And I don't think that's in general. I think human beings in general are inherently good. I believe that. And I have to believe that, or else I would have no faith in society, period. I believe that people are good. And usually when I sit down with anybody, I find out that there's a lot of good traits in them, that there's a lot of things that we agree upon. And I've always said that, we agree on about 90% of our shit. There's only about 10% of our bullshit with all of us that we think, oh, you're full of shit. I don't believe in that. That's not for me, and who's right and who's wrong doesn't matter, because we agree on 90% of the stuff, so Mr. Chips, how you doing, Mr. Chips? Good to have you, man. What did he say? He said, for people who don't know, this channel is how Hex grew. I wouldn't say it's how Hex grew. I would say that it was a big part of helping community develop. It was open to everybody to come talk. And so they did. They had discourse here, and we learned about Hex together. And most of those people, while all those people have left this channel and gone and done their own things, built their own streams, and all become wildly successful and done really good things in the Hex ecosystem. But yeah, this is one of the places where we started to draw the community together. But no, I appreciate that, Mr. Chips, and you're being part of it.
This is what we need for, anything to progress in the future of human progression, I guess you'd call it, with these laws coming in Australia. So if they bring this law in and they decide, no, you can't talk on this channel, like, how is anyone going to grow? How's anyone going to communicate, learn, talk? It's so it's something that needs to happen. People need to talk. They need to learn from other people. It's part of human growth, isn't it, really?
It is.
Like you said, 90%, you might not agree on 10%, but there's no need to kill each other over it or argue over it. Talk about the other things you agree on. I don't agree with you on this, but we'll do this together over here and we'll progress in that together. Same as we were talking about the other day, the influence of fighting and the fun and the drama. Forget all that shit. You're here for the same reason. Why not work on that same thing and build together? You don't have to like to live in the same place. You don't have to like the same drink, the same food, the same, same music. That doesn't matter. Work on the things that you do agree on and build on that. You go to work with a team of people and you have to build a machine or you have to build a house. And you might not like that person because they go out on the weekend and do something you don't like doing. But you still go there and you build that project together and you get it done and you move on.
Yeah. Yeah. No, discourse is important. And people need to talk things out. Now, lots of dirty laundry in this community for sure. But I like to keep most of the dirty laundry, in the back rooms where we can talk and discuss and find out, what people are upset or worried about or whatever, and not
just
take it
in the ring.
Take it public and turn it into a shit show, and then now everybody's confused and don't understand. It's the communication and understanding where everybody's coming from and why people's whys, why people do what they're doing, why they're doing it for real, and not just coming up with some kind of, flash in the pan idea of like, this is what I think's going on. Like I literally, somebody came to me and accused me of grifting the community for setting up a meetup. And I'm like, guys, I've been setting up meetups and get-togethers and paid get-togethers from the beginning. It was all fine and dandy during the bull run. Everybody was so happy to get together and have an event and do all. In fact, they gave some other joker damn near $1 million to go put on a shit event. And I backed out of it because I said, that's too much money. You guys are spending too much money. This is ridiculous. You cannot provide that kind of value to people. And they didn't. And they didn't. And they didn't listen to me. And I said, you got to put something together that has value. You got to put something together that's not going to break people's banks. You got to put something together that means something. You got to put something together that's got value, and then people will want to come. And you've got to do it in a way that you're not grifting, that you're not, trying to enrich yourselves, which those people that were doing that other event were trying to enrich themselves. They wanted to put on something big so that they can make hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever it was. And instead of providing valuable service to the community. And I've always wanted to provide valuable service to the community. And, and I don't apologize for it. I think that what we've done has been all on the up and up and all good. And it's provided value. I've been through lots of conversations recently with people who've tried to tell me that what I was doing was wrong. And I've pushed back on every single one of them and said, no, what I'm doing is not wrong. I'm not enriching myself. I'm providing value to Hexicans. I know this is important. I know there's other things that are just as important or more important, and I don't shit on those things. I don't say that they're not worth it. This is just one thing that I think this community needs. And
well, in the same token, you're not forcing anyone to come.
Of course not.
These people are making their own mind up and deciding what to do. So
exactly,
you need to think about what you're paying for and where you're going before you do it. Are you going there just to have a party and mingle, or are you actually going there to learn and build? There's two different things. So
yeah. Let's see. I found Richard before I found this community. Mr. Fish, can you be Mr. Fish and Chips? Less than community dirty, less than the community dirty laundry. Captain, wash your underpants. Yeah,
I haven't even got my underpants on, JFK.
Yeah, none on, buddy. Just free falling in my sweats. That's what my kid calls it.
It's too humid here. Need a free ball.
David says RH is the goat. I'm a 0x. Is that a goat in there? 0x bull. I learned from yeah.
I'm an ox.
We all learned it. I'm an ox. Oh, okay. Richard is the goat. I mean, he's taught a lot of us. Before Richard, crypto was, for me anyway, a very, very rotten place. I was ready to leave. I wanted out. I didn't want to be part of the pump and dumps anymore. Not saying that it still doesn't go on, but at least there's a handful of them that don't. And a lot of them are here on the PulseChain and Richard's ecosystem. But I'm telling you, man, it was bad until he came, and he restored confidence in what it could be with me. So I'm glad I used it.
Well, I was lost until I found Richard, I'll be honest, and it changed me. And it wasn't just crypto; it was Skyvive, it was talking business, starting business. I did all that after seeing and learning from Richard. Totally changed me.
So here's something else I wanted to mention about that. You know, Richard wrote Skyvive. You know, Richard wasn't born with the knowledge from Skyvive. Richard is smart. He's extremely intelligent, Mensa brain, whatever, 140 IQ, whatever the fuck it is. But Richard learned these things with that brain at seminars. He even says he went to Tony Robbins seminars. He went and did things like that to get the value out of their messages. He's even spoke at them. I've seen him on stage doing it. So, people came to me and said, hey, Richard said that, you shouldn't be having events and people should be buying. You should be ashamed of yourself and this and that and the other. I said, no, that's not what he said. He was talking about people who are grifting you and asking for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to go to their events and blah, 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 blah. He's taught us and we learned from him and we created what we created based on the ethos of the stuff that he's put out there. And I know that when he wrote Skyvive, when he dictated Skyvive, that all of that knowledge, all of that wisdom didn't come from just life experience. It came from him reading, understanding, and learning from other people's mistakes and successes. And that takes access. You have to have access to those people, to those, folks who have figured it out or who have learned it themselves. And that's what goes on at these events. You get access to people that you may not have had access to. And that's what these events are for, so that you can have access to the Hexicans that you want to sit in front of and talk and really get to know who they are and build relationships and build projects and build things together and support the community. And by show of force, we show people what we're about. There is something powerful about a photo of 150 people in front of a hotel in Vegas that are there for Hex, that are there as a community, that are there to promote these things, that are there with the same ethos. There's something very powerful about that.
There's no other community that has that. Show us where. Anyone else with the numbers, the people, the traveling.
Yep. Never seen photos like that. I've seen a couple of pictures with, like some crypto chick sitting on Charles Hoskinson's lap in some bar or whatever and stuff like that, some crypto influencer hoe bag or whatever. I don't know. I've seen stuff like that. But
anyone can do that. I could go out and pay fiat and have how many women sitting there right now?
But
wow. I'd rather have t-shirts.
But I haven't seen another community drop 150 people in front of a hotel, or put them in a swimming pool and have a party all day long together, and and talk crypto. And I mean, that's something special. Having a pool party with all the Hexicans and seeing everybody out there. I mean, that's some powerful shit. Didn't see that in any of the Bitcoin events I went to. None of them where freaking Erica Wall was running around in some fucking wizard costume.
Wizard. Oh, I'm a wizard, Harry.
Oh my gosh, that guy.
I just seen Mithril going back to gaming. So Mithril Coat, Terran Marines beat Richard Zergs in StarCraft.
Hey, Bit Finesse is in here. What's up, Bit Finesse? Everybody, Bit Finesse. OG out there, providing you with a service, delivering goods and goods around the country. Crypto's the same, still full of projects that fail. Nothing coins that rug pull, LP, pictures on sites, middlemen preying on users. We just have a safe, honest thing that works now. It's called Hex. 100, you nailed it, Bit Finesse. That's it. We know Hex works. Everything else is suspect. Let's see what happens. My Tehran Marines beat Richard Zergs in StarCraft.
That's what I was just saying. Terran Marines.
Terran Marines.
Old school gamers. Yeah.
Oh, that's StarCraft. Man. That is quite a game. Quite a game.
Hey, for those that like StarCraft and they like Blizzard and BattleNet and all that, if you check the Diablo 4 Lilith statue, my name will be on it.
Oh, really?
At the BattleNet, wherever Blizzard headquarters is.
Yeah. We've been working with Blizzard guys doing the FanForge project. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Let them know. My name's on their statue.
Okay.
I'll have to come over there and check it out.
Bitcoiners don't freeball. Yep, that's why they ain't us.
They ain't got no balls. That's why they're doing Bitcoin.
We freeball because we can. So anyway, all right. Well, we've been rolling this thing for over 2 hours. Anything else you want to bring up before I shut it down?
No, pretty good. Just chilling, talking. Unless someone else has got a topic they want to talk about, I think we're good. Ignore the FUD, ignore the drama. Keep doing what we're doing as a community. We're here. No one's going anywhere. Keep fighting. We're going to win. All these things are just stepping stones to the top.
Yeah, they're all just stepping stones. And win, lose, or draw in any of these cases and stuff, we're going to end up being okay on the other end of it, guys. The code hasn't changed. PulseChain hasn't gotten any worse. PulseX is still at DEX. Everything is still working perfectly as expected. So it's only a matter of time before the value of Hex and Richard's ecosystem catches up with the reality of the markets. And it's no wonder, with all the FUD, with all the pushback, with all the hate and anger and vitriol that's come our way, that we are where we're at, that we've sitting at the value we're at. We're very undervalued as far as what we are. And it will change. This too shall pass, everybody. This too shall pass. Real quick, let me check out the private chat. Make sure. I see you posted all that stuff. That's cool. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming. Appreciate you all. We'll be on next week. Hopefully I'm going to be out on some other streamer streams talking about the Pulse 369 Vegas event. Look, there's a golf tournament that's going on there. And if you're going to get out there, even if you're not a golfer, going to be a lot of fun. You're going to be out on the golf course. There's going to be booths at each hole. Who knows what kind of fun activities are going to be there. There's going to be all kinds of cool stuff. Big prizes, big crypto prizes being offered at the golf tournament, and something you might want to participate in or bring people outside. We're working on bringing, because the prize is so good, we're going to be trying to reach out to golfers to try and get them. We had some show up at the last golf tournament, and they onboarded, because if they're winning crypto, they got to get onboarded and get the crypto. So it's going to be real cool. Get your tickets. I think the discounts on the rooms. SJ, you still there? what's the discounts on the rooms? Or is that over with, or we still got a little bit? You can use, yeah. What's the deal? Oh, type
when fight tournament.
What's that?
When
Fight tournament?
tournament.
Oh man, that would be great. I'd love to see all you guys mix it up. So
Yeah,
she's
like,
going to type.
Yeah, you guys had that. Oh, sorry. Finish with your conference link there.
You know, what's the and give me the DGen fellas code. Is there still discounts available? You can shake your head. SJ's in the green rooms, feeling a little under the weather today. Yes, there is still discounts to what date? Till
February 4th.
I'm looking. I don't see anything in there. She's putting
in
it in
the
private.
February 4th in the YouTube chat.
Oh, did you? Oh, she put it in the chat. Oh, okay, cool. I was looking at the private room.
Links
there we go.
In the
good until
in the
2. There we go. So February 4th, those are discounts on the rooms, and you can go to is it DGen 10 or DGen? What's their DGen fellas code? Or you can go to you can put in RG3 or DGen. Yeah, DGen is a code you can use, and so they're good until February for 10% off. Blah blah blah. Come hang out with us. Get some people to the golf tournament. Golf tournament's going to be a lot of fun. And we can bring folks from outside of crypto there. So we're going to work on promoting that. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming. Hey, Mayo, thanks for dropping in. I appreciate you, man. And
try to keep it a bit more regular in the future.
Yeah.
Come
on in anytime. You know it's open for you. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next week. And go over to PulseChainTour.com and get your tickets. Come hang out with us at the Pulse 369 conference in Vegas. Going to be a good old time. See you guys then.